In this video we're going to go over my birth story. Yeah, so today we're going to go today we're going to go over my birth story. I do already have a blog post of this up, but I thought when you're talking about it, I think you can portray things a little bit better, so I thought I would do that as well, because I personally love watching and reading birth stories. So my due date was the 17th of March, St. Patrick's Day. So Saskia was born on the 12th of March. She was, 5 days early. And it's funny because it's actually her auntie's birthday, the 12th of March. So that day they were supposed to be coming here so we could go to Nando's for lunch for her birthday. And obviously I had to tell Daniel to ring them and tell them I had gone into labour. And I still haven't had that Nando's. Saskia just really wanted Nando's. She wanted to come and have Nando's, didn't you? So yes, 12th of March. I will backtrack maybe from about 37 weeks is when I started having practice labour, as they call it. Braxton Hicks. Quite a lot. I was getting them daily. There was a few times where I thought I was actually going to go into labour because it was actually, quite painful. But obviously I didn't, and so when the day came, I didn't actually believe it, because there'd been, a few nights where I'd had them for maybe 2-3 hours and nothing. So when it happened, I didn't think that was it. I was texting people, I was texting my mum saying, I don't believe it, like I don't think it is, it's just gonna go away, it's gonna stop, this isn't it. Especially because people always tell you your first baby, you're more than likely gonna have to be induced, you're gonna go over 40 weeks. When I was 39 plus 2, I didn't believe it. So anyway, I'm jibber jabbering on already. You'll be sick all over me. Anyway, yes. So at about maybe quarter to 7 on the Sunday morning, I got up. Just that's when I would normally get up, go about my day. I remember I felt my first contraction when I went downstairs. But obviously there I thought, oh, here we go, Braxton Hicks again. And then at 7 o'clock I felt a small gush. It wasn't a big amount, but it was enough to sort of soak my underwear. But yeah, I didn't really know if that was my waters or not, but I thought, let's just keep an eye on them. So I was meant to go make breakfast, but I didn't, because I got another contraction. So I thought I'll go in the bath, have a nice soak. If it's Braxton Hicks, then the bath will help ease them, it'll go away. If they don't, then we might be onto something. So Daniel was still in bed. I got in the bath, and I think he came in about maybe an hour or so after me being in there, and I told him what was happening. I was like, let's just ring your mum and tell them what's happening. If it's not it, it's not it, but we don't want to risk it being it, like the actual thing, and being in Nando's, or them coming all the way here and me going into labour. So yeah, I sat for maybe another half an hour or so, and to begin with, the contractions were about 7 to 8 minutes apart, and then they went to 3 to 4 minutes within an hour. So I called the hospital, and they told me to wait for an hour, see what happens, see if they progress, they become more painful, longer, stronger, and to wear a pad and see if that gets soaked through within the hour to see if, you know, we could confirm that it was my waters. So that's what we did. I sat on some towels on the bathroom floor. I don't know, thinking back now, I don't know why I doubted it being my waters or not, because I had to sit on towels on the bathroom floor. That should be enough. Yeah, so I sat there for an hour. I FaceTimed my family. I was texting my family. Daniel went to the shops to get some snacks to take to the hospital, and he got some breakfast. But once he brought it home, I couldn't eat it, so he ate mine as well. He thought he had to be fueled up for the day. Yeah, so basically just sat there for the hour, timing them. They went from 3 to 4 minutes to 2 to 3 minutes apart. Why are you eating my hand? Wow, okay. Here, look, do you want this? He's a little doggy. Yeah, 2 to 3 minutes apart. So then we rang them back after an hour and explained what was happening. She says, you can come in, we can check you. If you're not far enough along, we will send you home. And I was like, yeah, I understand that. I'd like to be checked to see, you know, what's happening. So then I got ready. It took quite a while. Coming down the stairs, you know, then I went to sit at the bottom of the stairs through a contraction before I could even get in the car. And then once we were in the car, I had to put like a maternity pad down on the seat so I didn't get the seat wet. Then I rang my mum, told her we were going to the hospital and that Dan would keep her updated from them because I was going to be a bit busy. Yeah, so we went to the hospital, we drove there, and we had a driver driving at about 10 miles per hour. It's all times. It's a Sunday morning, there's no one else there, just this one driver that's driving 10 miles per hour right in front of you. I mean, it was just typical. Yeah, luckily he wasn't in front of us for too long. It did still feel like a lifetime, but it wasn't too bad. So yeah, once we got to the hospital, the car park was empty, which I'm so glad it was a Sunday because my car park is normally insane. You normally can't get parked, and then it's just insane. So it's funny, the whole pregnancy we joked saying it would be nice if it was like I went into labour on a Sunday, just after we woke up, like not stupid o'clock in the morning or in the middle of the night. And you know, so far that's what was happening. Excuse you. Yes, so then we got out of the car and I had to walk into the hospital and to the birthing centre. The birthing centre is at the very far end of the hospital and up on the top floor. You gotta walk past the labour ward. And it was the hardest and longest walk of my life. Having to stop, every minute and a half to 2 minutes to have quite a painful contraction. And, everyone can tell that, everyone obviously see that you're in labour. So they're saying good luck. Excuse, who are you chatting? Oh. Yeah, obviously saying good luck. There was one woman that asked me for directions, which I could not believe. I'm not even sure I sent her in the right direction, but her own fault for asking a woman in labour, to be fair. Yeah. Yeah, and there was someone that worked there. I was like, do you want one of those wheelchairs? I'm like, no. I need to walk. I need to progress things. I want to sit down and slow it down. Yeah, so we got there. Sort of checked in and stuff. They checked over my notes, laid down on the bed and they checked me, and I was 3 centimetres. So they actually don't keep you until you're 4 centimetres because you're not really classed as an established labour until 4 centimetres. But she said I was completely thinned out and that it was like a labouring cervix. So she kept me and told me to either walk around the hospital, walk around the ward, the centre, or take a bath. So I decided to take another bath, which definitely made things more intense. I think I sat in there. Okay, so we got at the to the hospital about 11 o'clock, and then I got out the bath at maybe 1:45. Yeah, I got out of the bath about 1:45, and then you're chewing my top. Okay, whatever keeps you quiet. About 1:45. So she came in, and I asked if I could try some gas and air, because at that point I was, in my head I was thinking, if it's this intense, it got very intense very quickly, and if it was this intense for so many more hours, I didn't know if I could do it. I was already thinking that, and I was already saying to Dan that I couldn't do it. And I know I was saying before I went into labour that normally at the stage where you're saying I can't do it is the point of transition, and you're nearly there. But obviously when I was saying I couldn't do it, I didn't think about that. I just genuinely thought I couldn't do it. So I asked for some gas and air, but she said she'd want to wait until I was a little bit further along. So I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So she brought in the birthing ball. I sat on there, which was so painful. I remember thinking, obviously it made it a lot worse. So my instinct was to get off, but obviously that was a good thing that it was getting worse, because it was progressing, faster. So I sat on there for a little while, well, probably not that long actually, and then I sat down on this huge beanbag that I could have easily laid down and taken a nap on. And then I felt my body, people call it the urge to push, but it's totally different from what I expected. I felt like my body was pushing, like it was doing it. So I told Daniel to go get the midwife, and I told her what was happening and asked to be checked early, because I wasn't due to be checked for another hour. And she was a bit reluctant because they didn't like to do it more often, for infection and stuff. But she agreed once I explained what was happening, and turns out I was 9 centimeters. So then she was like, you can have that gas and air now if you like. I was like, I told you I needed it. But in the end I didn't really use it after all that. So she started to fill the pool up because she knew I really wanted a water birth. Yeah, it takes a surprisingly long time to fill up. I didn't actually think I was going to be able to make it in, and to be honest, neither did they. But they filled it up, and once we got in, time passed so quickly. Contractions, I think every minute, my body, I was pushing. And then about 2 hours later, little Miss Saskia was born. Yeah, little Miss Saskia was born, and she was crying and all healthy, and she came out in the water. It had my water birth I wanted, and pulled it up and I put it on my chest. And it's funny, I can still think about it now, and I can still feel her there, like what she felt like, or the heat of her, the weight of her, like all of the gunk on her. I can still feel it, and I can't even begin to explain. I can't. I don't think it's anything you can explain or can be close to experiencing until you've done it yourself, because it's absolutely amazing. And then my little Miss Saskia was born, and I can't believe you're nearly 5 months old. Yeah. Yes, so after that, I opted to have the injection for the delivery of the placenta. So I was holding Saskia, and then I don't know why, I looked at the needle that she was about to put in my thigh, and I flinched, and she told me off. She was like, you've just had a baby, woman, like it's a little injection. But anyone that knows me, I'm terrified of needles, so that it was just instinct to flinch. So yeah, delivery of the placenta, it was all good and quick, everything was fine. And then after that, Oh dear, after that, Daddy got to hold Saskia for the first time while they got me out of the pool and back to our room. And I just remember looking over to him and he was just, it's like he had his little girl. Yeah. He had his little girl. You're chewing a dog. You're chewing a dog. Yes, so once we got back to the room, yes, okay, Saskia's hungry. Yeah, so we got back to the room and they put the big beanbag behind me so I could do a little bit of skin to skin with Saskia. I say a little bit, I think we did skin to skin for about 45 minutes to an hour, which I just loved. So at that point we sat for a while, you know, we just took her in, soaked her up, let our parents know. I FaceTimed my family so they could see her. And nobody could believe that she was here already. 4:25 she was born for my first contraction at 7 AM. It was a perfect day. It was exactly what I dreamed of, what I'd hoped for. Yeah, it was, I couldn't believe it really. And then Daniel asked me if I'd have any more while we were doing skin to skin, so maybe 15 minutes after giving birth. And I was like, yeah, it was amazing. I'd do it all over again 10 more times. It was, there's no words to describe it really. The whole experience was amazing. Yeah, so after our skin to skin, we attempted our first feed because she was looking to feed. She was very hungry and she latched on straight away and fed perfectly. Yes, so I fed her, and then after that we got her weighed. So she was 7 pounds 8 ounces. 7 pounds 8 ounces. And then we were told everything's fine. If we want to stay in hospital one night, we can. Well, I could. Daniel would have to go home. Or if she feeds one more time, if they can see her feed one more time, absolutely fine, we can go home. So obviously I opted for that. I was just so excited to get home. Part of me kind of wanted to stay just to make sure everything was okay, but I knew they wouldn't let us go if everything wasn't okay. And we had to go back the next day anyway for her newborn checkup. So at 10 o'clock that night, we wrapped our little baby up, put her little outfit on, put her in the car seat and brought her home. And it's so funny. When you're walking into the hospital, people are wishing you luck, and when you're walking out, not even 12 hours later, they're congratulating you. And then it's amazing. I'm gonna overuse the word amazing because it's exactly what it is. Yeah, we took her back to the car and put her in. I thought she looks too little to be in all that, all those straps and all these clothes, and to be going out into the real world. Like, hello!
Hello.
Close the door then, if I can finish this, if you'd be doing things. Where was I? Yeah, taking her out into the real world. Once we got her home, I think I FaceTimed my dad, my family again, just to let them know we were home, we were gonna go to bed. Yeah, that's what we did. We got her changed into her little baby grow, put her in her Moses basket next to our bed, and we settled down for our first night as new parents. And I didn't sleep a wink, and I loved it. Yeah, adrenaline still pumping, mind rushing. She was up every hour anyway. Yeah, I loved every single second of it, and I would do it again right now if I could. That is pretty much how our day went. Nice day. started when we got up and we got home around about the time we usually go to bed. So it's perfect. So that's my birth story of Saskia. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.